What's in it for me? Uncover the art of transforming seemingly insurmountable obstacles into stepping stones to success. This summary revolves around a central message. Every hurdle, obstruction, or challenge that appears to impede progress is, in fact, the very route to success. Simply put, each obstacle, every roadblock, becomes the pathway itself. This is the essence of the title. Quoting Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, who stated, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Contrary to adopting an overly optimistic outlook, this approach doesn't require seeing a silver lining in every situation or wearing rose-colored glasses. Recognizing opportunities within obstacles is about being clear-sighted, logical, reasonable, and prepared. It involves a pragmatic perspective on circumstances and a strategic response. Rather than ignoring obstacles, it's about confronting them in the most effective manner. The summary is divided into 3 sections, mirroring the structure of the book: perception, action, and will. These represent the 3 essential elements in turning any situation around, converting negatives into positives. Perception serves as the starting point, the skill of viewing what others might label as obstacles, such as economic downturns, traffic jams, personal disabilities, as potential paths to success. Next is action. Perceiving the path is just the beginning. Meaningful progress requires taking concrete steps along that path. Finally, there's will, the energy, determination, and perseverance to stay on the path, even when faced with challenges. While the concept is straightforward, implementing it is no easy feat. The summary provides examples of individuals who have successfully executed this approach, transforming disadvantages, setbacks, and adverse circumstances into opportunities for success. Perception: discovering opportunity in adversity. John D. Rockefeller, the renowned oil tycoon, honed the skill of perception during a critical juncture in his life. In 1855, at the age of 16, Rockefeller embarked on a career as a bookkeeper with aspirations of becoming an investor. Just 2 years later, the Panic of 1857 struck, plunging America into a severe financial crisis, the most significant market depression in history. During this tumultuous period, individuals in the finance sector were abandoning their careers out of fear and panic, perceiving the situation as a dire disaster. Rockefeller, however, chose a different path. Instead of succumbing to panic and hastily changing his career trajectory, he viewed the economic upheaval as an opportunity to learn and observe. Rather than interpreting the crisis as a terrifying disaster, he saw it as a chance for growth and insight. This exemplifies the power of perception, where the meaning imposed on events determines one's response. The way you perceive a situation can either strip you of power or empower you. Rockefeller's mastery of perception played a pivotal role in his success. By the age of 40, he controlled 90% of oil refineries in the United States. His investment strategy was driven by level-headed logic, not reactive emotions. He didn't follow the market or succumb to peer pressure. Instead, he maintained confidence and commitment amid the chaos. Rockefeller's wisdom, resilience, adaptability, and calm demeanor formed the bedrock of his empire. To emulate Rockefeller's approach, consider 3 tips when facing daunting obstacles. 1. Focus on what you can control. Ignore what you can't. Concentrate on aspects within your control and disregard those beyond it. 2. Remain objective. Don't get caught up in subjective emotions or projections. Maintain objectivity and resist being swayed by emotional reactions. 3. Stay in the present moment. Don't spiral into regrets about the past or worries about the future. Focus on the present, avoiding unnecessary dwelling on past regrets or future anxieties. These tips leverage qualities you already possess: logic, objectivity, reason, and cool-headedness. Implementing them is a matter of discipline, practice, and habit, allowing you to perceive opportunities within any obstacle. Perception: unleashing your inner power. In the 1960s, Reuben "Hurricane" Carter, a renowned boxer, faced a grave injustice when falsely accused of a triple homicide. Despite his innocence, he received 3 life sentences and was imprisoned. Confronted with this dire situation, Carter had a crucial choice to make: surrender his power and accept the system's perception of him as a criminal, or retain his power despite the circumstances and act as the innocent man he was. Carter opted for the path of power. Upon entering prison, he boldly declared to the warden that he would not allow himself to be treated like a prisoner. Although he couldn't control his freedom, he refused to be powerless. Carter maintained power over his perception and choices. He rejected everything associated with the prison: uniforms, prison food, visitors, parole hearings, and utilized his time for intellectual pursuits, studying history, philosophy, and law to overturn his case. Despite spending 19 years in prison, Carter, who entered at 29 and left at 49, never considered those years stolen, steadfastly asserting his control over choices, thoughts, reactions, and perception. This narrative underscores a fundamental truth: the power of perception is a kind of control that no external force can strip away. Each individual possesses this power, irrespective of betrayals, unfortunate circumstances, or setbacks. Regardless of external events, the power of perception remains intact. In nearly every situation, the individual retains control over how they choose to see and react to it. It's essential to recognize that the concepts of good and bad are subjective impositions. In reality, there exists a situation or event, and the narrative woven around it determines its characterization. The story one tells, or refrains from telling, is entirely within their control. This is the essence of the power of perception, a realization that Reuben Carter embraced. The question then becomes: how will you choose to perceive the obstacles before you? The power has always been yours and will remain so. Perception: shifting your viewpoint. In a pivotal moment during the Peloponnesian War, the general Pericles and his men encountered a sudden darkness caused by a solar eclipse while at sea. Pericles, unlike his panicked soldiers, remained composed. To demonstrate the power of perspective, he approached the ship's helmsman and, holding up his cloak to block the light, asked if the darkness frightened him. When the helmsman replied negatively, Pericles questioned why they should fear one form of darkness but not the other, emphasizing the idea that perspective is crucial. This anecdote underscores a profound truth: perspective shapes our interpretation of events. The soldiers perceived the solar eclipse as ominous, choosing a disempowering perspective, while Pericles opted for an empowering one, viewing darkness as a neutral phenomenon. The perception chosen determines whether a situation is perceived as frightening or exciting, good or bad, and this choice is within one's control. Consider the example of George Clooney's early struggles in Hollywood. Initially, he blamed the system for overlooking his talent after facing rejection in auditions. However, he shifted his perspective, realizing that producers needed to find the right actor for their films. This change in perception transformed his approach to auditions. Instead of seeing himself as a humble nobody seeking a break, he recognized himself as the solution the producers were seeking. This shift in perspective is crucial as it influences the actions one takes. The right perspective leads to actions that are more likely to bring success. Therefore, individuals are urged to assess their perception in various situations. Does it benefit them, or does it stem from fear, insecurity, or a misinterpretation of the situation? Recognizing that perception is under one's control reinforces the idea that perception is indeed everything. Action: harnessing the power of discipline. After recognizing the influence of perception and the transformative potential of shifting one's viewpoint, the next step is action. It's important to note that this doesn't require blind optimism but rather a clear, rational, and logical approach. Action involves understanding a situation, being aware of potential challenges, and then acting boldly, yet disciplined. Perception isn't about ignoring difficulties. It's about stripping away unnecessary emotion and meaning. Similarly, effective action doesn't involve overlooking potential challenges but requires a disciplined and focused approach. Flexibility, persistence, and discipline are essential in tackling each task systematically, leading to the accomplishment of goals. An illustrative example is the story of Demosthenes, the renowned orator of ancient Athens. Despite facing numerous obstacles such as physical weakness, betrayal, and a speech impediment, Demosthenes developed a strategic plan and exhibited unwavering discipline. To overcome his speech impediment, he engaged in rigorous practices, reciting speeches while running and with his mouth full of pebbles. He established a dedicated study routine, even going to the extent of shaving half his head to avoid public appearances. Demosthenes aimed to reclaim his stolen inheritance by taking his guardians to court. His disciplined approach paid off, as he single-handedly out-argued every opposing lawyer. Ultimately, he not only secured his inheritance but also established himself as a brilliant orator and a knowledgeable student of the law. The key takeaway is to set a clear goal, develop a strategic vision, and persistently pursue it with discipline. Each action becomes a step toward achieving the desired objective. By learning from Demosthenes, individuals can navigate challenges, overcome setbacks, and attain success through disciplined and focused action.
If you discover even a hint of value in our content, we'd be truly grateful for your support through likes, shares, and subscriptions. It's surprising that 88% of our listeners haven't engaged yet, so I kindly ask for your support. Your comments are not just a guiding star but also the foundation of our progress. Thank you. Now, let's delve back into the review.
Action, trusting the process. To understand the power of disciplined action, let's delve into the process followed by individuals like Demosthenes. Despite having a significant goal, reclaiming his stolen inheritance, he didn't rush to achieve it immediately. Instead, he embraced a methodical process, focusing his energy on the small, incremental steps that would lead him from the starting point to the ultimate destination. The lesson here is crucial. When pursuing substantial goals, it's common for people to overlook the small steps and attempt to leap from point A to Z without addressing the intermediate stages. Demosthenes exemplified discipline, persistence, and determination, but what set him apart was his commitment to a well-defined process. In the words of Nick Saban, the head coach of the University of Alabama's Crimson Tide football team, this approach is encapsulated in the process. Rather than fixating on the grand vision or the end result, individuals are encouraged to concentrate on the immediate tasks at hand. It's about disregarding the overwhelming nature of national championships or legal victories and, instead, focusing on the present moment, the specific drill, speech exercise, or individual step in the journey. Success is a path that unfolds step by step, demanding attention to each phase of the journey. The process provides a soothing framework, offering solace amid the uncertainties, twists, and turns along the way. The path may be lengthy, but the emphasis remains on executing each step with precision and total focus. Although this approach might seem obvious, it prompts a reflective question. How often have individuals abandoned their goals because they perceived them as too monumental? The process addresses this hesitation by redirecting focus away from the end goal and towards the immediate, manageable tasks. Whether it's writing a book, excelling in sports, or pursuing any aspiration, success lies in trusting the process, taking one step at a time, completing one small task after another. This philosophy encourages individuals to relax into the journey, understanding that success is achieved through a series of well-executed, incremental steps. Action, acknowledging limitations. As we transition to the next section on will, it's essential to acknowledge a fundamental truth: not every endeavor will succeed. Despite adeptly flipping obstacles, altering perspectives, taking disciplined actions, and trusting the process, there are circumstances where success might prove elusive. Some obstacles are, indeed, insurmountable, and certain paths may be impassable through no fault of our own. In the face of an obstacle that defies resolution, the key is to recognize that you have earnestly tried. Nothing should dissuade you from attempting and persisting in your efforts. If, after sincere attempts, you realize that the obstacle remains unflipped, consider this an opportunity to reinforce other skills and qualities within yourself. This adaptability is a testament to the resilience inherent in the formula. For instance, if despite your best efforts, a relationship ends or a business venture falters, buried within the emotions of sadness and anger lies an opportunity. This opportunity is to cultivate qualities such as forgiveness and selfless love, or to practice acceptance of circumstances beyond your control. The beauty of the formula lies not only in achieving success but also in leveraging setbacks for personal growth. Action, by its nature, entails risk, including the possibility that things may not unfold as planned, thwarted by external events. Accepting this reality is crucial. Sometimes, outcomes won't align with your desires, and in such instances, being prepared is paramount. This readiness involves embracing the unknown, boldly moving forward with acceptance, and eagerly anticipating what the future might hold. In this perspective, there are no outright failures, only valuable lessons. With this mindset, let's proceed to the final section on will, exploring the energy, determination, and willingness to face whatever challenges may arise. Will, embracing acceptance and action. Will is often misconstrued as an intense desire for something, but its essence lies more in acceptance than force. It serves as our internal strength, providing refuge in challenging circumstances. True will enables us to gracefully accept what cannot be changed and exhibit resilience and flexibility to move forward when faced with adversity. The Stoic philosophers, including Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, were exemplars of will. They honed their will by consistently asking a fundamental question: what can I control, and what is beyond my control? Recognizing that the only true domain of control is the mind, they understood that external factors, other people's actions, natural events, and the inevitability of death, lie outside our sphere of influence. However, the mind encapsulates emotions, judgments, attitudes, responses, and decisions, offering a realm within our control. Applying this insight, the Stoics advocated for building an inner citadel, a metaphorical internal structure impervious to external uncertainties. Importantly, they emphasized that no one is born with an inner citadel; it must be constructed through deliberate effort. Contrary to the assumption that abilities are innate, individuals can overcome disadvantages through dedicated work. Theodore Roosevelt serves as a compelling example. Born with severe asthma, he defied his condition under the guidance of his father. Initiating a rigorous exercise routine at the age of 12, Roosevelt strengthened his body and improved his lung capacity, virtually eliminating his asthma a decade later. His life was fraught with obstacles, from personal losses to political challenges and assassination attempts, yet Roosevelt's continuous commitment to fortifying his strength equipped him to face adversities head-on. Life inevitably throws challenges: loss, reversals of fate, hardship, and unhappiness. While these external factors are beyond control, individuals can prepare themselves. Like Roosevelt, strengthening the body is analogous to building an inner citadel, a structure that enables one to confront hardships with resilience and continue along life's path. So, consider, are you prepared for life's challenges? Strengthen your metaphorical inner citadel, shaping it to be robust enough to withstand difficulties and empower you to persist on your journey. Will, the endurance of perseverance. After a decade of battling in Troy, the hero Odysseus embarks on his journey home, only to face 10 more years of trials and tribulations. Held captive, tempted, losing his men, encountering perilous obstacles, Odysseus perseveres through 20 years of war and hardship before finally reuniting with his family. His enduring resolve becomes a testament to the power of perseverance. Perseverance, often confused with persistence, distinguishes itself by focusing on the long term. While persistence involves relentlessly tackling a specific problem or obstacle, like attempting to breach the gates of Troy repeatedly, perseverance is about enduring the multitude of challenges that life presents. It requires a sustained will, akin to endurance. Odysseus could have succumbed to despair or given up in the face of numerous obstacles, but he persisted through the trials the gods imposed. Rather than dwelling on despair or complaining, he demonstrated endurance, navigating through each obstacle until he reached his cherished homeland, Ithaca. Life unfolds as a series of obstacles, where conquering one may lead to the next. When faced with challenges, the choice to persevere or quit lies with the individual. Standing resilient in the face of adversity, one can endure the journey, recognizing that success might take time, perhaps even 20 years. The capacity for endurance exists within, waiting to be harnessed on the path to achieving long-term goals. So, embrace perseverance and overcome the hurdles, no matter how arduous the journey may be. Will, contemplate death and prepare for renewal. While contemplating death may seem morbid, it serves as a powerful reminder that our time on earth is finite. Each passing day brings us closer to an inevitable end. Death, beyond our control, should not be a source of worry but rather a catalyst for renewed purpose and urgency in life. The unpredictability of death underscores the importance of seizing control of our present circumstances. Death, as an insurmountable obstacle, puts other challenges into perspective. Minor irritations and obstacles pale in comparison to the inevitability of our mortality. Confronting the reality of death prompts a shift in attitude. Why harbor frustration over trivial matters? Why not choose kindness, appreciation, and graciousness in our interactions? Embracing this perspective transforms the way we navigate life. Harnessing the awareness of death as a motivational force allows us to face obstacles with resilience. If we can derive strength from the inevitability of death, other challenges seem less daunting. Overcoming daily obstacles becomes a practice of embracing life and living it authentically. In recognizing that life is a series of obstacles, it's essential to acknowledge that overcoming one challenge often leads to the emergence of new ones. The journey involves a continuous cycle of conquering obstacles and preparing for the next. While this process may initially appear exhausting, consistent practice cultivates resilience and a greater ability to navigate future hurdles with creativity and determination. Ultimately, obstacles are not hurdles to be feared, they are integral components of the journey. Embrace challenges, face them unshaken and unhurried, and view them not as hindrances but as opportunities for growth and renewal. As you overcome each obstacle, relish the journey and be prepared to embark on new beginnings with fortitude. Bring on the challenges, for they are not impediments but the very path that leads to personal evolution. Final summary: turning obstacles into opportunities. The core message of this book revolves around the three essential steps: perception, action, and will, that empower individuals to transform obstacles into opportunities and adversity into advantage. 1. Perception. Perception is about viewing obstacles objectively and recognizing the power within. It involves understanding that challenges are not inherent disasters but opportunities for growth. By leveraging the power of perception, one can navigate obstacles with clarity, reason, and resilience. 2. Action. Taking disciplined and focused action is the next crucial step. It is not about naive optimism but a rational and logical approach to problem solving. Breaking down daunting tasks into manageable steps, maintaining flexibility, and persistently moving forward are key elements of effective action. 3. Will. Will is the internal power that enables individuals to accept what cannot be changed and change what can. It involves building an inner citadel, a mental fortress impervious to external circumstances. Will is not merely about desiring something strongly. It is about acceptance, resilience, and flexibility in the face of life's challenges. The 3 steps in action. 1. Perception. Recognize obstacles as opportunities. Learn from figures like John D. Rockefeller, who turned economic crises into learning opportunities, and Reuben "Hurricane" Carter, who maintained power over his perception despite wrongful imprisonment. 2. Action. Act with discipline and trust the process. Follow the example of Demosthenes, who overcame physical and educational challenges through disciplined study and strategic vision. Embrace the process, focusing on the present task rather than being overwhelmed by the enormity of a long-term goal. 3. Will. Accept what can't be changed and change what you can. Cultivate an inner citadel like Theodore Roosevelt, who transformed physical weaknesses into strengths through disciplined effort. Persevere through challenges, understanding that life is a series of obstacles, and death is a constant reminder to live with purpose and urgency. Conclusion. By applying perception, action, and will, individuals can navigate life's obstacles, viewing them not as impediments but as opportunities for personal growth and success. Embrace challenges, approach them with resilience, and be prepared for the continuous cycle of overcoming obstacles and embarking on new beginnings. The key is not to fear obstacles but to recognize that they are an integral part of the journey toward personal evolution. Thank you for returning and staying with us until the end, reflecting your commitment to progress and wisdom. In return, I kindly ask for a small favor. A simple act of liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting would be immensely appreciated. Your support helps the channel reach a broader audience and, consequently, grow. As a token of gratitude, I'll continue delivering book reviews from some of the most impactful books in the world. Thank you.